Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren preaching His word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And if, men and women and children, the Lord will have mercy on in these last days. It's the brother Dama Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify and give you warning from Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. And as it is our custom here at Great Millstone is to constantly go into prophecy, all right? And this one is dealing with the coming M.O.T.B, which is the mark of the you-know-what. And each and every day, these different banks and financial institutions are moving closer and closer to bringing in these CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies, which will lead to, that CBDC being issued via being implanted under your skin, as prophecy, shows us. And as you can see, Australia and every other country on this earth, is gearing towards this digital system, and they're constantly having a war on cash. And, you see this happening all over the world, man, where they're issuing these CBDCs. They're cutting out the circulation of cash within every society, which therefore, if they get rid of the cash, they can get rid of this current financial system and can bring in this central bank digital currency, this digital system, which is a system of complete enslavement and control. So I'm going to read this article. I'm going to read through it pretty fast, but, it has some good information in here showing you how, these devils are ultimately gradually bringing in this digital financial system, which is a slave system, which will lead to the central bank digital currency, which will be implemented and implanted under your skin, which, as we believe here at Great Millstone, is the M.O.T.B, which will give this government total control over your ability to buy or sell or function within their, new world order. And which this is what the scriptures refer to as the hour of temptation. When they come with this new financial system, they're going to paint the picture that your only way to buy or sell or have food or drink water or to purchase or to function within, the world that they're creating is to have to bow down and worship, this new digital beast system, man. So it says the bottom line is we should be wary whenever a government aggressively pushes for anything, including a cashless society. It is very rarely in the interest of the average person because it's this system of complete control. And that's why it's very important to pay attention to what Australia is doing, what Europe is doing, what all these different countries that are implementing this CBDC program, the moves financially that they're making, because it's basically a lot of test runs, and eventually it's going to be, come here to America, and it will be the new financial model. So it says what? Australia has become the front line in the war on cash, and Nigeria as well. And a lot of these other countries, they're all having a war on cash, but you just don't hear about it every day in the mainstream news media, because a lot of these different countries are test sites. They're gathering information, they're rolling it out, they're testing it, so eventually they can bring it here to the States. It says Australia has become the front line in the war on cash with aggressive efforts to wring physical money out of the economy. It says over the last financial year, more than $1 billion worth of physical cash disappeared from circulation. According to data released by the Reserve Bank of Australia, the Australian news service, blah, 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 called the strongest sign yet that the country is moving towards a cashless society. It says the number of $50 notes in circulation charted the sharpest decline. In America, they was doing the same thing here, but they started maybe during the pandemic talking about there's a corn shortage. And that's why when you would go to particular stores, they would ask you if you wanted to just round up. You say if you're you went to go pay for something and it was $20.47, they would ask you, do you want to just round it off and give, the extra 60 cents or whatever because of the so-called coin shortage. So it's been little steps here and there, but once we start seeing them really start talking about getting rid of certain bills here in Babylon and America, then we know, hey, it's right around the corner. It says the number of $50 notes in circulation charted the sharpest decline. Australia transitioned from pounds to Australian dollars in '66. Every year since then, the number of notes in circulation has increased up until this year. Meanwhile, 3 of Australia's big four banks recently opened cashless branches, and according to the RBA's website, it is exploring a central bank digital currency. You see, so all of this cash being taken out of the circulation is all signs that they're going digital. And pretty soon they're going to start, limiting how much cash you can withdraw from ATMs, how much cash you can withdraw from the banks, and certain, big withdrawals that you want to make of cash. They're going to question you and ask you why, and then tell you to come back in 3 or 4 days. You see, it's all part of the plan. It says, but while the amount of cash available has decreased, Australians increasingly want to use cash. An RBA survey of consumer trends revealed that 33% of Australians consider themselves low cash users, meaning they use physical money for less than 20% of personal transactions. That was down from nearly 50% in 2019. It says, and ironically, cash transactions increased during the pandemic, despite the big push for contactless payments. RBA cash withdrawals figures as of April revealed the uses of cash remain stable. Australians averaged 30 million cash withdrawals a month. That was basically unchanged over a year. It says in July, Australians protesting the push toward a cashless society vowed to make all of their purchases using cash for a week. Pay with cash only for everything that you can, one tweet read, please be part of this. It appears the powers that be in Australia have decided that if they can't convince Aussies to go cashless by choice, they'll force their hands by simply eliminating the cash from financial system. You see, so it's going to be forced, and it's going to be done whether the people want it or not, because these devils have an agenda. You see, and it says, well, here, war on cash. Australians' effort to wring cash out of circulation is part of a broader war on cash that has been raging for more than a decade. In May 2016, the European Central Bank announced it would stop producing and issuing 500 euro notes by the end of 2018. Not long before the EU announcement, a former Obama economic advisor, ex-Treasury Secretary, floated the idea of eliminating the $100 bill in the U.S. You see, so they'll do it. They'll do it here. They'll do it there, because eventually they're going to bring it here to the States, man. Remember, this is a global financial system, man. And they're looking to bring the same type of financial system all over the world. It's not going to be any different from whether you're in Rome, whether you're in California, whether you're in China, Beijing, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, wherever you're going to be. They're going to have this digital beast system in place, man. See, but we just see the gradual steps that they're making in order to, to bring this in. It says the following year, the IMF published a working paper offering governments suggestions on how to move toward a cashless society, even in the face of strong public opposition. Officials sell the war on cash by touting the convenience of digital payments. They also claim that eliminating cash will help stop criminals who use physical money to evade tracking and detection. But there is a darker side to the move toward a cashless society, the promise of control. Here's the point of this article. Without physical cash, the government and the government/cartel banking system have complete control of your money. That means banks and governments increase their control over you. They can collect maximum taxes and fees. They can track your purchases, and they can even manipulate your spending habits by imposing negative interest rates that effectively charge you for savings. Yeah, see, it's just a plain out a control system that these elites are going to have over you. They can control, like I said, the way that you spend money, how you can spend money, and when you can spend money. They could you can have the CBDC, and they can tell you from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. nobody can buy a milk or whatever, or water. There's no purchasing of water or milk or these particular goods from 8 to 4 p.m. And if you try to go to the store and try to use your CBDC for those particular purchases, they could eliminate you from purchasing those, man. You see, it's total and complete control. You try to go to the gas station because you want to get some gas, but you made a tweet that they flagged and didn't like. Hey, they could withhold you from buying that gasoline because you tweeted that shit that they didn't like. You see? It's just a complete and utter control system. And once you take it and get it under your skin, that's it for you, man. All right. You're finito. You're done. It says in the worst case scenario, the government could even shut off your ability to make transactions, you see. And this is the power that they want to control, they want to have. And this is why they're bringing in this central bank digital currency, man. All right. It's all for control purposes, man. Nothing else and nothing more. It says, needless to say, many everyday people like cash and the relative freedom it provides. In worst case scenario, they can at least shield their wealth by shoving cash under their mattresses. You can't do that if there isn't any cash, you see, and you can't barter or trade with things, you know, in this new digital system. You know, I mean, you can barter and trade, but I mean, everything that you get is going to be, it's just going to be harder and harder to do particular shit like that, man. Now, and you can try to barter and trade, but everything is going to be tracked and traced and watched. You're not going to be able to acquire independent wealth outside of this new digital beast system, man. And anytime you owe money, they can find you. They can just take the money straight out of your chip, man. You jaywalk and they want to find you. They're not going to send it in the mail and you have to, reply and go get a money order and put it in the mail and mail it back to the government, or just not pay the shit and just hope you don't get caught or it don't show up somewhere. Hey, in this new digital beast system, you'll be fined immediately for jaywalking. You'll be taxes will be immediately taken out of everything that you have, man. You see? And at any time they want to zero you out and just shut you out of the financial system, they'll have that ability to do so, man. You see? It says the advent of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, has taken the war on cash to the next level. Digital currencies exist as virtual banknotes or coins held in a digital wallet on your computer or smartphone, but eventually it's going to be implanted under your skin. It's going to be inside of you, which is why we say, when they first get this thing rolling, you might be able to, use your CBDCs when it's on your phone via, a barcode, but eventually their plan is to put it implanted inside of you, man. So you'll become the smartphone. You'll become the microchip. You'll become the scannable, technology merged with man, It says the difference between a central bank government digital currency and peer-to-peer electronic cash, such as Bitcoin, is that the value of the digital currency is backed and controlled by the government, just like traditional fiat currency. Imagine if there was no cash. It would be impossible to hide even the smallest transaction from the government's eyes. You see, and that's what they want. They want to be like the Most High. They want to see all and know all and control all, man. You see, it says something as simple as your morning trip to Starbucks wouldn't be a secret from government officials. As Bloomberg put it in an article published when China launched a digital yuan pilot program in 2020, digital currency offers China's authority a degree of control never possible with physical cash. Yeah, because with physical cash, they can't track and trace every transaction that you make. Once you have it, you have it. You can hide it, you can bury it, you can do whatever the hell you want to do with it, and it's unaccounted for. And as long as you have that cash, you're able to buy and sell and function as freely as you want to, man. And there's different ways that you could use that cash. You can barter it, you can trade it, you can use cash to just straight up buy a car. You can use it to do a lot of things that the government won't be able to track and trace and have control over. They're trying to eliminate that completely, man. It says the government could even turn off an individual's ability to make purchases. Bloomberg described just how much control a digital currency could give Chinese officials. You see, it says the PBOC, Salakia. The PBOC has also indicated that it could put limits on the sizes of some transactions or even require an appointment to make large ones. Some observers wonder what payments could be linked to the emerging social credit system, wherein citizens with exemplary behavior are whitelisted for privileges, while those with a criminal and other infractions find themselves left out. China's goal was not to make payments more convenient, but to replace cash so it can keep closer tabs on people than it already does, argues Aaron Brown, a crypto investor who writes for Bloomberg, you see? And that's ultimately what this is all about, man. It says, the bottom line is we should be wary whenever a government aggressively pushes for anything, including a cashless society. I read that. It says, one way to protect yourself from becoming a victim on the war on cash is to hold on to real money, gold and silver, you see, which they're going to make it illegal eventually for you to even use gold and silver. So even if you have that idea in your head, it's going to come up short, man. You see, and it's all leading towards this. This will be the end goal of it. This is the whole point of them having the CBDC and this CBDC financial banking system is to have control and to implement this This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And that mark is the charagma. And we know that Klaus Schwab and Noah Harari have already came out and said that, and these different, IMF heads and different financial sector heads saying that eventually the CBDC eventually will look like a small grain of rice that's going to be implanted under the skin. And this is mainstream news. We heard they've already came out and literally said this on TED Talks, and different other World Economic Forum meetings. So this is not something that they're hiding or something that they're not saying that they eventually want to do. All right. And it's all leading up with biblical prophecy. All right. And we're here and we're in these times. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. You see, and that's what the CBDC is all about, doing away with cash and financial independence and having this, to bank the unbanked and have everybody linked and signed up to this central digital bank currency and different digital ID system, so you can be identified, tracked, and traced, and that you can receive your government issued digital money. You see, it's going to be linked to these CBDCs, which they will have total control. And what does it say? You won't be able to buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So if you don't get down with this new future digital banking system digitally, you won't be able to buy and sell. He'll be able to separate you from these different aspects of everyday life. You won't be able to get gas. You won't be able to apply for a job. You won't be able to have an apartment. You'll basically have no identity whatsoever and no interface with this new digital system they have linked up if you don't have that C-Ragma, you see? And this is why transhumanism is a huge part of this man's future for you people, man. You know, everything is going to be linked up to Skynet, so to speak, man. You know, everything you do in your house, your apartment, wherever you're walking, wherever you're traveling, you're going to be tracked and traced and watched by AI, man. And AI is going to be constantly grading your behavior, watching you on social media, watching the things that you say, the things that you do, what you buy, what you sell, shit, to the point where even if you don't exercise or you don't do what the system requires of you, you're going to be penalized in real time. And you can be separated from buying or selling if they decide that you're unacceptable. They'll just shut off your charagma, man. You see? It says, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, which is 666, and part of that is that Chi Psi stigma. Let's go into that, man. All right, it says Chi Psi stigma. Let me see something. Yeah, Psi stigma. When you go into that word stigma, it goes into the word the word stigma goes into something that's physically stuck into you, man. You know? Something. It's not it. It's okay. No, it won't give me that. Well, it won't give it to me, but when you go into that word stigma, it goes into a physical sticking, something physically being sticked and pricked within you, man. You know, and it's going to be that C ragamuffin, man. But as you can see, this is the lead up into Revelations 13 and 16. This is why they're having a war on cash. This is why they're, going to eliminate cash in the system and financial freedom as we know it and bring everybody into this digital system, which will be upfitted and linked to your C-Ragma, man. So the more you hear about them doing away with cash, the more you're talking about them doing away with $100 notes, $50 notes, 20 or whatever, and their war on cash, know that it's going to lead to prophecy being fulfilled, which is the M.O.T.B via or your CBDC, man. So with that, Lord willing, I wasn't all over the place. Lord willing, you were edified. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for putting the spirit of me to do this lesson. Until the next one, Shalom.